So I'm standing here tonight to invite you to stare at me. It's not like I'm an exhibitionist or something, and I'm in the habit of inviting strangers to stare at me, but stare at everything. Stare at my hands, my small hands, my short arms, and the way I move. I used to associate staring at it as a negative, and would do everything I could to avoid and hide because of my obvious disability. I bet you're wondering what I have, and I'll get to that in a moment. Preparing for TED got me thinking about being on a stage and having stages in my life, and I realized I'd been on some form of stage for most of my life, but unwanted stages. The first stage I went on was a lot of doctor's offices. It all began when I was 3, and I had some crazy symptoms that would not go away. I had a high fever, a rash, and a swollen knee. So I was taken to a lot of doctors. I was told my body was in pain, had to be fixed, and had a lot of issues. Oh yeah, I better tell you what I had. When I was 3, I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Yes, kids get arthritis too. It's not just an old people's disease. The next unwanted stage that I went on was hospitals and operating rooms. Unfortunately, I got the most aggressive kind of arthritis that went into every joint in my body. Hospitals became my home away from home, and the physicians talked about me as if I wasn't there. At 14, I wasn't walking, I was in a wheelchair, so I had to have hip replacement surgery at 14. I became the bionic teen at 14. The worst stage that I went on was the unwanted stares and whispers of classmates and strangers. My disease was becoming visible, and all I wanted to do was disappear. And I never looked into a full-length mirror until my early 30s. Arthritis, like any chronic illness, is a roller coaster ride. And fortunately, I had a good team and have a good team that helped me get through the ride. My amazing parents, who are in the audience tonight, and my sister and brother, and my adorable new fiance, Robert, is here as well. And I also just had a good therapist who had a disability who helped me get through that ride. The next stage I'd like to share with you is when I put myself on a stage where I was in control of how I would be displayed. I created a photography show called Uncensored Life, Raw Beauty, which you'll see some of the photographs behind me. We photographed amazing women, 20 women with all different types of disabilities to showcase their beauty, sensuality, and empowerment. Most people don't associate beauty and disability with women or people in general. So we wanted to break up those stereotypes and really break up boundaries. We did this in Miami a few years ago when I was in my early 40s. And we created such a stir. And the audience that came to see the show, the models that were portrayed in the show were empowered, inspired, and it helped. We had large billboard-sized photographs, empowered the women to create their definitions of how they defined themselves as beautiful. For me, I was one of 3 out of the 20 that posed semi-nude. And if you had asked me 10 years prior to this experience, I would have said, hell no. I would have never, ever considered posing nude. But I was standing in a new place of self-acceptance at that point in my life, and I said, why not? People stare at me anyway. I'm noticed. And why not have them stare at a beautiful photograph? So it was transformative for all the women that participated, for the photography students that helped create this amazing experience. They were used to photographing the Cindy Crawfords and the Tyra Banks of the day, not women in wheelchairs with visual impairment, hearing impairment, people with arthritis, MS, and they were transformed. Literally, their lens was shifted as to how they viewed body as beautiful. I stepped into a new place of acceptance with my body after this experience. I realized I was not an object to be fixed. I was not an object to be pitied. I was the vehicle for my photographer's inspiration. I'm standing here tonight to redefine beauty, the beauty of disability. Beauty is all around us, isn't it? It's in the flaws. It's in our perfectly imperfect, unique selves, but we miss it. It's a global issue, isn't it? So I'd like you to take a moment. We'd like to expand what we created in Miami and take it to the next level. We want to break up stereotypes and bring in women and people with disabilities into the mainstream media. It's happening, but it's not happening fast enough for me. I would love you guys tonight, after you leave the show, to connect with somebody that you don't know and look into their eyes and see their inner beauty and see their inner essence and connect to them on that level. And now I'd like you to stare at me again. And this time, stare at me from a place of beauty. And this time, stare at me from a place of art. I'm stepping out, and I have come out of the shadows, and I've come out of hiding. And I am stepping onto new stages on my terms. Thank you.